Welcome, everybody, to the Davis's Eats
Yep.
Holiday Edition, Christmas Edition. How's that?
Yeah, we're Christmas edition. Oh my God.
Specifically, Christmas Dinner Edition.
Mhm.
So, thanks for joining us on this lovely
Monday evening.
Monday evening. The weather's been a little the last few days, so not too bad today. A little sunnier. So, we don't. I teased this a little bit in the post I did a while ago. At 4:30 because I forgot to do it today. Sorry, the computer's trying to update and we're not going to let it. We don't do like ugly Christmas sweaters in our house, and I don't do a lot of sweaters, period. But we do t-shirts. So these are our Christmas t-shirts. And mine is an ode to my favorite Christmas movie, A Christmas Story. And so, the nice little bar soap. And
yeah, is that what that is?
That's what that is.
I wondered.
Yeah, that's the bar soap.
Oh, I was
and fudge.
It's like, what is the fudge about? I don't get that.
You don't remember the scene in A Christmas Story where,
yeah. It just went up this.
Right. Well, it's not your favorite Christmas movie. It's my favorite Christmas movie.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about yours later, but so
mine ties into dinner.
It does tie into dinner quite well.
Mine has what the different reindeer are good for, whether it be steaks or sausage or jerky,
stew
and backstraps. This would be very good for tonight.
It is.
Tacos and burgers and burnt ends. And then the best one is Rudolph. He's your grill light.
Yep, he's your grill light. Yeah. That's kind of cute. I thought it was cute.
Yeah,
but it definitely ties into dinner. And it ties
Michelle.
into...
That is my favorite Christmas movie.
It's
Die Hard.
Oh, I don't not like that Christmas movie. I just like A Christmas Story best.
Yeah.
How's that? Yeah. So yeah, those are our Christmas t-shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't have anything normal. So
yeah, no, not at all.
Whatever that happens to mean. But yeah, we are doing a
little ode to Merry Christmas.
A little ode to kind of a classic traditional British Christmas dinner.
Well, yours is, mine isn't.
Yours is not, no, but I'm
purely American.
Yeah, so we'll explain a little bit more when we get there. But instead of beef Wellington, which takes forever to do from start to finish, and certainly not in this time frame, we're going to do a deconstructed beef Wellington.
We're not.
You're going to help.
We're going to do a deconstructed venison Wellington.
Well, technically, yes, venison Wellington.
Yes.
And we are having venison this year on Christmas Day for Christmas dinner, but a little bit different. Actually, a lot different than what I'm doing tonight. Yeah. We'll post pictures of that one on Christmas. Yeah. That's going to be quite the adventure. So Christmassy, and what's more Christmassy? I mean, eggnog, which Chili here doesn't like.
I don't like eggnog.
So we had to stay away from the eggnog.
That's right.
I love eggnog.
You and the kid.
And so a little bit of a departure from the Christmassy eggnog. And you don't like mulled cider or mulled wine, so we can do that. So what are we doing?
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Cool. Well, we're doing cooled hot chocolate.
Well, but why are we doing? And I'll explain how I made the hot chocolate too when we get there. But
because we're going to make a martini.
There you go. We're making a cold hot chocolate martini. How's that?
We're making a hot cocoa martini. So let's go ahead and start. Yeah, give me my apron, I guess. That way I don't spill on my wonderful shirt.
Spill on your shirt.
Yeah.
Now that everybody has seen your reindeers.
Yep.
Reindeer.
So first we're going to use some Mr. Black coffee liqueur. We're going to make 2 martinis, so everything's going to be doubled up. So we want 2 ounces of Mr. Black.
Which we love, by the way.
It is good.
Mr. Black can sponsor us any day they want to.
Any day.
Because we're about out.
Well, yeah.
We have a running theme. All of our alcohol could sponsor us any day.
Anytime. We're going to do cream of cacao. We're going to do 1.5 ounces of that, because each one of these gets 3/4 of an ounce. And then you can use Tito's vodka.
Or
Another-
vanilla vodka if you have it.
Or vanilla vodka, Tito's. Or just any other of your favorite vodkas. We want 1.5 ounces of vodka because each one gets 3/4 of an ounce. Would you give me my hot cocoa that's been chilled?
I will get you your hot cocoa that's been chilled. Here you go.
And we're going to use 6 ounces of hot cocoa that's been chilled. So we've got 2, 4, 6. You getting some whipped cream?
I am.
I thought you might be. We're going to put this in our shaker. And shake it up.
Pick it up, baby.
And we're bringing our glasses over.
I didn't chill the glasses.
That's okay.
If you want to chill the glasses, just put some ice and some cold water in them, then dump it before you pour your drink into
nice
it.
And cold.
Yeah. And you could get on fancy and do some chocolate shavings, but
Or rim the glasses with chocolate
Meh.
syrup. Or any
honestly,
other...
we're not doing it because I don't have anything like that in the house right now. So, however,
We have whipped cream.
we do have whipped cream.
You could add marshmallows if you wanted to put marshmallows, like little mini marshmallows. But
oh, cookie scoops, by the way. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah.
Technically, these are ice cream scoops, but cookie scoops make
perfect.
things like Cool Whip right out of the tub a lot easier to deal with.
there we go.
Guess I'll just leave that here in case you want more.
Well, I will definitely want more.
Okay.
So,
Let me put this up in my refrigerator
'Cause
that
we
can't
have-
hardly hold anything else this week.
put that in there too.
I will, yes.
So it can
I got it.
remain chilled.
Chilled. All right, so
We have our cocktail.
Merry
Our
Christmas.
hot cocoa.
As my uncle says, Merry Kiss My Ass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
That's good. That's good.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in trouble.
Yep.
Get in love.
So to make the hot cocoa, how'd you
Okay.
do that?
So to make the hot chocolate, I did everything from scratch. Now you could use, Swiss Miss or whatever, but it's super simple to do from scratch. And chances are you've got everything on hand, especially if you do any kind of baking.
Yep.
So I did a small amount, and it was about 1/8 of a cup of just Dutch cocoa powder that you would use in, cake or brownies or something. I used just shy of 1/3 cup of sugar because my secret weapon in my hot cocoa.
What's up, Hurley?
Hey, Hurley. Sorry. Let me get one of these. If you can find these where you live, we've used these before. You can't see that. Vanilla sugar. There you go.
I'll get it real close.
Otherwise, 1/3 of a cup of sugar and a little bit of vanilla extract or vanilla flavoring will substitute just fine. But that's my secret weapon. When you have chocolate, you want vanilla.
Yeah.
And about 1/4 cup or so of water. Heat that till that sugar dissolves.
Yep.
And that cocoa is all combined real well. And for that amount of cocoa and sugar, 2 cups of whole milk. If you want to get really rich, half and half, some combination of the two. And there you go. Super simple.
Delicious.
And heat that until everything's all, you don't have to boil it, just heat it enough for it all to come together. But
depending on how hot you want your cocoa. But we wanted chilled hot cocoa, so.
this is dangerous, folks.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
You used your whipped cream for whippets, yeah?
Yummy. Okay.
You have to have a can of those, I thought.
I'm like walking around trying to find a
You
spot
have to
to
have
put mine.
canned whipped cream for that.
Oh, yeah.
So there's
Okay. So, beef Wellington. If you're not familiar, beef loin, and I've seen individual like
venison loin.
fillets. Yeah, well, traditionally, wrapped in puff pastry. But on the inside is a mushroom and shallot mixture that's used in French cuisine as like a base for sauce. It's called duxelles. And then prosciutto kind of layers between the beef loin and the puff pastry to keep it from the puff pastry from getting too soggy. So as it bakes, it does its thing and puffs up real well. So that takes forever to do that entire process because you have to deal with mushrooms and cook them, and they take forever. Then you have to let them cool down all the way, and it just is a really lengthy process. So got a little bit creative. We're going to deconstruct all of that, be a little bit more rustic Midwestern with our venison Wellington. And I have had one pack of venison chops left from that backstrap that he was talking about. So we're going to use that, and we'll talk about puff pastry and the duxelles and get everything going. But because mushrooms take forever, that's where we're going to start. So if you want to flip him over here.
Hold on, I gotta turn.
Yeah, just turn that down or to brown.
Yeah, turn that back off.
And we're gonna.
There we go. You're over there.
Thank you. Okay, so I have baby Bella mushrooms, cremini mushrooms, and just regular white button mushrooms. A lot of people use shiitake. Couldn't find them today, so we've got two different kinds here. A shallot that I'm going to cut up. I'm out of garlic. So we're going to use garlic paste, and then I have some a little bit of fresh rosemary, thyme, and just some chives that I harvested off of my new growth of herbs. And I'll probably add some dried thyme just to have a little bit more, plus some salt and pepper. We're going to chop all of that together in the food processor and get her going because it will take about 20 minutes to cook everything down. Might help for you guys to see a little bit better. So nothing fancy here. We've talked about shallots before. Mm-hmm. They're related to onions. They cut and peel similar to onions. So we're going to get the peel off of this one. And see how it's got a little bit of brown right there. We'll take that off too here as we cut it.
Hey, you notice that it's only one animal in here?
Yeah. Well, stepping on sugar a while ago probably kept her from coming in. No, there she comes. I said something. Okay. So that's cut. So I'm going to move things out of the way here. We're going to move that so you can kind of see a little bit better. Sorry, that's that Dutch angle that Alton Brown loves so much. Cool. You can't fit everything in otherwise. So whole thing of mushrooms goes in. I lost one. Actually, I lost two.
You want to plug it in or no?
I do want to plug it in. I'm going to process those just a bit so I can make room for my other mushrooms. Come on. I'm at a weird angle. Hang on a second.
More mushrooms.
More mushrooms. And you don't want to like pulse these down to nothing. Leave that out. But this is just a lot faster than chopping. My food processor is not big enough, folks. One of those times where I might have needed a bigger one.
One of the many.
Oh, well. We're going to cheat here.
Once you take those out, dump that.
I'm going to. So when your food processor isn't big enough for everything.
Do you need a bowl?
Nope, I need that skillet turned back on.
Okay.
We're going to go in stages.
Here you go.
I almost never need a huge food processor. Okay. Good enough. So I don't own one. All right.
Here.
What? Oh. Yeah, that's okay.
What do I stir with? You want me to stir with a spoon?
Uh-huh. Throw our herbs in there. I'm like moving around the camera. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, word to the wise, use a big food processor. Oh, for crying out loud. Will you switch that to what you're doing so they don't have to watch me fight with this?
Yeah.
Because it is turning
There you
into
go,
a
folks.
fight.
I'm just stirring away, putting my mushrooms in the pan. My favorite thing of all to have.
You'll survive.
I know.
Okay, KitchenAid food processor. You're going to get replaced if you keep this up. She's going to get her tail stepped on this time.
Well, that's what happened here.
Sugar Plum got stepped on
At lunch.
at lunchtime.
She did. She didn't like it very
No,
much.
twice.
Yep. Yep, because she almost made me fall on the second one.
So she's being a little
Cautious about where she
cautious
goes.
tonight. Yeah.
Here, let me do that.
I got it.
Well, I was going to have some fun, though.
You're not going to have fun. We're going to get this done because it's making me crazy.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's not working. I don't like it when my appliances crap out.
Don't behave. I think it's having trouble with that shallot.
I think the blade's not strong enough to cut the shallot. You might get in a... No. Santa Claus can handle that. All right.
That's a lot of mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. And I'm eating one of them. Now, that's a lot of mushrooms, but they cook down to like nothing in this process. So,
do I need to like continually stir them or something? Or
no, you don't have to do anything to them, but let them sit.
okay.
I'm going to put some salt and pepper in them so they start rendering. And then we're going to move this out of the way so we can deal with other things that hopefully work better.
Yeah. Live TV.
We're going to also put some garlic in there because I forgot to. And move the camera back. Okay. So now that seems like a lot of mushrooms. They really do cook down to like nothing.
I've got it on low heat. Is that?
No, it needs to be medium heat. A little salt will help them start losing their liquid, and that's what you want.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure, so I had them on low.
And we will work on that a little bit later. Okay. Next, we're going to get our puff pastry in the oven because our oven just hit the temp that we need. Store-bought puff pastry is a beautiful thing. It's already made for you. It has to be super, super cold, but not, excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
But not frozen. It needs to be thawed. But you can't let puff pastry get warm while you're working with it because the butter, the amount of butter that's in it, will start to melt, and then your puff pastry would be all to shit.
Oh.
Pardon my French. And this is a
That
brand
sounded
of...
more like German to me.
Okay. That would be Scheisse.
It would be your German.
Yeah.
Coming out.
So this is a different puff pastry than what I've worked with because I couldn't find my regular brand. So we're all going to be keeping our fingers crossed that it works like it's supposed to here.
And cussing everything out.
Yeah, so you don't roll puff pastry like you might, roll out pie dough out of a tube or stretch pizza dough out of a tube. At most, I'm going to lay some flour down underneath it just to keep it from sticking. So at most, where these little ridges are that, from where it unrolled,
I can see it.
press those together if you need to, but this is the size we're going to work with. So my venison chops,
Look at that loveliness.
I have put out to room temperature, and we're not wrapping anything. It takes too long. We're going to stack, but you want to make sure that you have, and I'm only going to make about 3 of these. This is one of the chops sizes.
Look at that.
So we want to make sure we have a puff pastry that will lay on pretty well. So we have biscuit cutters. And these came from Pampered Chef. I'm going to use the biggest one here. And I'm only going to do 3 of these. So we're going to cut 3 out. And then I'm going to show you something else that's cool you can do. Will you hand me that? Not the asparagus one, but the other one, the big one. So you cut them and you just have circles. And this little bitty thin thing is hopefully going to puff like it's supposed to. It's kind of like cut out cookies. So you got to figure out where you need to be going. Okay, so we're going to do 3 because I'm only interested in feeding my family tonight. I'm going to do one.
Let's do one more.
Big one. Because one of those chops was a little bit bigger. We'll see how they work. The other thing I'm going to show you how you can do, what you can do with puff pastry, I'm going to cut out a few more of these. I'm going to show you how to do what's called a vol au vent, the easy way. And they're just little puff pastry bowls. Let's see, I've got these 2. I need this one back. That you can stuff with things. So I cut 2 out. Oop, I used the wrong little one there. And we're going to use a baby biscuit cutter to cut the center out of that one. And now we've got a hole. And I'll show you what I did with them here. Kind of like a donut hole, which is kind of what these are going to look like when it's all said and done. Okay.
What do I do with this?
You're going to hold it, or I'm going to take it. Okay. So on this tray, can they see everything? Okay. Yeah. So I've got my puff pastry that I want for my venison Wellington deconstructed. Did one bigger one just to play with the size a little bit. Over here, I've got 2 more of these, plus the ones that I cut out to make little donut shapes. Stack those, because when they puff, this is going to be an open cavity that you can fill. But of course, we're going to puff these up too. And that's all there is to it. They're going in the oven at 400 degrees we'll check them in about 15 minutes.
Let me set a timer.
Yes, please.
Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes.
This, I'm going to kind of roll back up and stick in a plastic bag, and I'll do something with it another day. So hold please. But after having worked with it just for like 5 minutes, I can tell that it's already starting to get too hot to work with. Huh. You have to move somewhat fast. He's making more.
Who is?
You.
Oh, it's because I drank mine.
So you guys can stare at my pastry board. I need to go wash my hands real fast. I will be back.
You go ahead and go back, and I'll make some more of this stuff. I'll make a couple batches. So everybody remember the recipe? We have 2 ounces of,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Well, we barely have 2 ounces of Mr. Black.
Uh-oh.
So 2 ounces of Mr. Black.
Something else. I'll wash these later.
We're going to be drinking vodka, hot cocos here in a little bit.
We've got Kahlua. That'll work. It might be downstairs, but all right.
Ounce and a half. Wish after this we might just be drinking vodka straight.
Well, you know, it's all good.
Yeah, here's what it is.
Yeah, this is cooking like way down. I'm going to add just a splash of red wine to that.
Okay.
Because
you can?
I can, and you don't like mushrooms anyway, so I'm just going to make it how I want to.
It sounds good to me.
It's going to add liquid, but once it evaporates, it's going to add a really nice hearty flavor to those mushrooms. So this, we're not going to need all of this tonight, but it's good with omelets. If you like mushrooms. Good in omelets, good as a base for a mushroom sauce or mushroom gravy, or throw it into your pasta sauce. So lots of ways you can use this, but we're just going to let it keep cooking down here. While you're making one of those. And I've got some asparagus to work on too. So tell us what you guys are having for dinner, or had for dinner.
Yeah, what'd you guys have? You need more for yours?
Maybe.
All right, well, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll top your off too.
Thank you. And then you can pop them back over here if you want. That'll work on the next thing. So again, a little bit traditional asparagus, and yeah, you know, they kind of look like Christmas trees, but
Where'd your
this is a kind of the classic side for beef Wellington, so we're going to use it tonight. And what? Sorry. Wiping up a mess here.
Thank you.
Real life, folks. You make messes in the kitchen. Okay, so typically this is served with hollandaise sauce. We're going to do a garlic cream sauce. Couple of reasons. It's a whole lot simpler to do, easier to build on the stove. And we like it. And then we have a little bit of a cream sauce to go with the venison. Okay, so little bitty thing, guys. These are not going to take long to cook. I'm going to throw them in the oven with our puff pastry, or probably after our puff pastry, to be honest. Again, you want to get rid of this woody end. So hold here, hold about halfway, pop, and it's going to snap where it naturally would. Use this one
as a guide
for the rest of them. And honestly, the more you do this, the more you can just probably eyeball and cut. And on all of these, you can kind of see where that white turns to purple and then into the dark green.
Mm-hmm.
I would cut them all just a little bit, you know, hedge them up off that dark green. And get that woody end off of there. And then we're going to put them on here. And a little olive oil, a little salt.
I'm gonna
because we really
stir up your mushrooms.
That's fine. We really don't need a lot because they are, what's it doing?
It just says it wants to download something.
Gotcha. Because we're going to put that sauce on them. I can do a little horseradish cream sauce if you want.
I would love that.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to set these aside and wait on our puff pastry to get done. And in the meantime, And the reason I'm waiting is you don't want to open the oven door
While your puff pastry
is going, or it won't go. Okay, those are looking good. So while we're waiting on all of that, we'll get the venison going, and it will have a little bit of time to rest. So mushrooms are going over here. You can see how much they've cooked down. I'm going to quickly, what?
Cheesy tuna casserole with strawberries is what the Johnsons are having, and tacos.
That sounds good. Tuna casserole.
Tacos from the Moors.
That's like one of my favorite
Hurley, what are
things.
you having for dinner?
What was I going to do?
Besides whippets.
Butter. Not going to do much to my venison, but salt and pepper.
Yep. You're going to cook all that venison?
Might as well. Or do you want me to?
I'm thinking. Yeah, shoot, go for it.
I mean, they're little chops. It doesn't take much here.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
I'll eat them.
Hot cast iron with some butter, a little bit of olive oil. Not much. Just enough to have some sear on there. Pepper.
Lots of pepper.
You can season these however you want to, but because we have all this other stuff going on, it's not going to need much.
Nope.
Now, venison, especially backstrap, tenderloin chops like these, they're thin. You don't want to cook them well done or you will have venison you can't eat. So these are going to sear real fast on both sides. And by real fast, we're probably looking at less than 5 minutes total. And that is probably hot enough. My oven's off my balance there.
Medium heat on the oven.
Not hot enough.
Nope.
When it hits, you want to hear that sear.
Put that sucker on high then.
Yeah. Okay, by the way, this is not the healthiest of dishes. Here you go.
Thanks.
I mean, the venison is, the mushrooms are, the puff pastry, not so much. Is this mine?
Yeah.
Asparagus goes really well in the air fryer too.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't take very long, but we've got the oven going already.
You
So
pull that off to.
yeah, it's okay. So we're gonna.
That side.
I will pepper that side. Goodness, man.
Well, you don't just season one side.
I know. I was gonna wait until I had more in there.
Okay.
It's killing me. Once we get this going, I'll kind of move the mushrooms back a little bit. They're cooking down real well here.
I can't tell.
And once they have released their moisture, they're done, and they're almost done. When you get to a point where they're starting to brown on the bottom, that's as far as they need to go, and we're almost there. And now you can hear that sizzle.
I can hear the sizzle.
So we're going to put the rest of these in. Season side down so I can season the other side real fast. You don't want to overcrowd your pan, but I'm going to kind of have to here. My pan's not quite big enough.
Season.
All right. Salt. Nothing's going to hurt this cast iron, by the way.
Nope.
So season away. There you go. That pepper's making my nose run. So basically, when we're all said and done, what we're going to have are little puff pastry.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Donut-shaped puff pastry.
Good.
Yeah. And we're going to stack some of the mushroom base on it. On mine. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Not on mine.
Okay, that's done. And a venison chop on top of that.
Yeah.
And totally untraditional, we'll spoon a little bit of that cream sauce over it.
Yes.
Which I will go ahead and get started.
Please do.
All right. So here we have butter that's already kind of melted because of the heat from here.
Yep. The heat from one.
Yeah. And I'm not going to make much.
You're making a roux?
Look at you, all knowing what I'm doing.
You're making a roux.
We're going to make a roux.
Yep. Of course.
Let me get a whisk here. We're going to make a roux. A really light roux. You don't have to do this in a saucepan either. You could do this in a skillet, but kind of out of room here.
What else is going to go in there?
Milk and half.
All right.
And I'm putting garlic.
Half and half?
In it.
Yes. And horseradish?
And horseradish.
Milk.
At the top.
At the top, huh?
Now, this is a garlic cream sauce, so you want to go a little heavy on the garlic. And we're going to cook that.
Here's the horseradish.
Just a bit, but not so much that it starts to burn, because then you have to start all over. I'm going to add about a cup of milk. And Chili got my horseradish out. So we're going to add some of that. Again, and this is all to taste too, by the way. I'm going to flip my chops. I'm going to...
You already throw your garlic in here?
Yeah, got everything in there. You see how nice and brown those are getting. That's what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
A couple more minutes on this side and they'll be done. You're looking at about 125, no higher than 135 if you need just a little bit more on the doneness. I'm going to open this half and half. Now, we made a roux because I was using milk and half. If you were using all cream to like really make a cream sauce, you wouldn't need so much of the flour because that cream's going to thicken up on its own. I'm only adding half and half, so there's a little bit of the creaminess in it. A little salt, a little pepper. Oops, a lot of salt.
Yeah.
White pepper because it's a white sauce. Most white sauces you would put nutmeg in. I'm skipping that because I've got horseradish and garlic in there.
You gonna hand me the lid for the garlic?
Yeah.
You got it.
Right. That's got to go long enough to thicken. Venison's about done. And we are 1 minute away from our puff pastry, hopefully doing what it was supposed to.
Yeah. We want to temp those or no?
Yeah, we're going to temp those.
Here, I got it.
Thank you. Peppers killing me, Chili.
Me too. It's great. I love it.
Just set it back over there.
I got it.
Yeah, we're just approaching 100 here. 115 on these little pieces.
There's 120. Oh, 130 almost.
Okay, so that big one's not quite done. The rest of these are done. These little guys. Then when you temp meat, you want to get in the middle, not on the surface.
It was like 120 something.
Yeah, we're going to let
Alexa,
it go a little bit
cancel.
longer.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They're beautiful. It worked. All right, I'm going to throw the one out and one in. These little ones look like biscuits.
Yeah.
Where are we? Oh, that's warm.
I get it. Where do you want it? Over there?
Oh,
Over there?
sure.
You want me to get that out of the way?
So there they are.
Hold on. Up. Go for it.
I actually need wood underneath me.
Hold on a second.
Takes a village, folks. So they kind of look like biscuits. That
Come on
particular brand doesn't puff as well or as much, I guess. It actually puffs beautifully. It's just not as high as what the other brand that I usually use. This is out of the refrigerator section. I got it at Schnucks here locally. And usually what I buy comes out of the freezer section. So these are what we're going to use to stack our venison chops on. This big one we're going to use for that big one. Big
for
chop.
mine.
Yeah. These, I'm going to push that down because that mushroom mixture, the Dixelle, would actually be really good stuffed inside of one of these with a little bit of cream sauce over the top. So for your vegetarians in your families, that would be a good option. Yes.
I don't know, it has butter in it. Just don't tell them. Is that what you're saying?
Well, vegans don't do butter. Vegetarians do, usually.
Okay.
And then these little guys just cap the top. So 15 minutes might have been a little long for these littler pieces, but these big guys are beautiful. I'm going to let those cool. Chili's going to... Is that thickening like it's supposed to? Or do I need to...
You might need to get some... You might need to cornstarch it.
Okay. So, when your sauce doesn't thicken like you want it to.
Yeah. You might need to cornstarch it.
Another little trick here. Oh, it smells so good in here.
Mm-hmm. It's a little warm in here, but...
It is warm in here with that oven going, but...
Well.
But it's an easy Christmas meal that's kind of cool.
And we've got
kind of
it
fun.
done in about 45 minutes so far.
I'll take some half and half back.
Okay.
So I'm out of space, folks, to show you what I'm working on here. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of cornstarch in a little cup. I'm going to make what's called a slurry. Just a little teeny bit. That's enough. And I'm using the cream instead of water, the half and half instead of water, just to keep with the
recipe.
Yeah, you could use water, but mix that up. And that starch is going to thicken the sauce a little bit faster, probably.
Should.
Oh, it will. And I've got about a cup and a half of liquid in here. Normally it would be a tablespoon of starch per cup, but because I've already got flour in here, well, that might be why. It has to boil to thicken. It can't be sitting on low heat like this was.
Oh. Well,
it's okay. It's okay.
I wasn't paying attention.
That's okay.
So how long do we cook the asparagus for?
Little thin guys, 8 minutes, give or take. Whew.
I don't know what time we put in, so probably about 2 minutes ago.
It's been a couple minutes, yeah.
Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
Sure, that'll work. So how are we on time here? So we're right at about 45 minutes.
Hey, Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
She's not going to.
She's not going to.
She's been persnickety today.
She has.
But here's the good thing. You can check your asparagus. And if you start smelling it, it's done. Don't need a timer.
Is it done?
Yeah. It's done.
Oh, okay. Well, then fine. We didn't need your 5 minute timer anyway.
Right? Little bitty.
Yeah.
So now we're going to thicken this sauce up. Whew, get our asparagus out.
I just set it right there on top of that.
No, okay. Just don't touch it on accident.
Yeah.
We're going to get...
God, that looks good. It's a wonderful green.
Well, that's why I love to roast it, because it keeps its color.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting somewhere there.
Well, that's what happens when you add heat.
I was trying to taste it. Too hot. Oh my gosh, that is so good.
Is it?
Yes. Ooh.
Is it because of the horseradish? I think
Yes.
so.
All right, my dear, we need plates.
Hold on, I'm finishing my drink.
Those long skinny ones. Whew.
Hmm?
The long skinny ones. I gotta pull my britches up. Not a white one because that cream sauce won't. Sorry, folks. Blue is beautiful. Making a the glaze is cracked on that one. Oh, that's perfect too. I don't think the child will eat any of this. Yeah, that's probably about. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I don't know if you guys can really tell on camera that it's thickened up quite a bit, but it has. It's
Oh, it's very much thick.
yeah. Okay, so that's done. So we're done. So now we plate. A couple of different things here.
That's very thick, actually.
So I'm going to show you how to do one of these little vol events.
We're going back over there? Oh, over there?
No.
Okay.
So remember I stacked those two. So you've got that donut hole cut out there. And just scoop a little bit of this in there.
Oh, I just didn't hate mushrooms as much as I do. I mean, that actually looks good. It looked good with venison burger too.
Oh yeah, anything. I mean, I put chocolate pudding in these when I test drove them a couple days ago. So actually, take that off the heat. Okay, so I'll give you that big top. Do that. Oh, I'm not putting mushrooms on yours, so I'll do a little one on mine.
You're not.
Okay, so I got a couple things going on here on my plate, and that's okay. So Chili's not getting the mushroom stuff.
Nope.
He's gonna get.
Is it that one or the other one?
You want them both?
I don't know.
Okay, so he's just gonna get a bit of the stacking of the.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Now it's gonna stay. I, however, broke mine on purpose, so I really didn't want that. I don't want that. I want to scoop to make it pretty.
Oh.
I actually crushed mine a little bit so it would stay. And again, this is just a deconstructed play on the beef Wellington.
Cream sauce? I can't
And
wait for the cream sauce. That looks so good.
Some asparagus, yes.
Yes, asparagus. On mine, and some asparagus on yours.
And, get all cute and stuff, but.
Yeah.
I don't know if Phoebe's even going to eat dinner.
Did she eat lunch?
Oh, yeah, she's eaten plenty today.
Okay. I saw that. I don't need that many asparagus.
Sure you do.
I have stinky pea for a week.
I can't smell it, so I don't care.
Yeah, but I can.
All right.
For those of you who can smell stinky pea, I apologize if you're around me.
If you work with Chili Davis. So we're going to do a little bit across there. A little bit across there. And if you were worried about things getting soggy, you put it underneath and not on top.
Man,
I am warm. Okay, so a couple of things here. No mushrooms for the man.
For me.
So it's just very much so the deconstructed. I've got on mine here, the Duxelle, the venison chop, completely non-traditional, not classic, with the horseradish garlic cream sauce on top of the asparagus, and my little, God, my nose, that pepper killed me. My little vol event that I did. And you saw how easy those are when you're not doing your own puff pastry. I would never attempt my own puff pastry. I'm not that good.
You're going to slice them up so that we can take a bite, because
Yes.
Because I am taking a bite of mine.
And you see how fast you destroy it when you cut into it. Here, you cut your own. Why am I feeding you?
Well, because you were in the way.
I'm actually going to come over here and cut into this one. You also want really fresh puff pastry. Don't leave it in the freezer for 6 months and then try to use it. It just won't turn out as good.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. That's a winner.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You're not even seeing it. Well, they're kind of seeing it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That cream sauce is a killer. Good. Mushrooms, if you like mushrooms, do that. It'll keep for 4 or 5 days in the fridge and use it for whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that's some good stuff.
Yeah. Mm.
That's so good. Oh my.
That is delicious. Mm.
So
there we go.
We're approaching an hour, but we talk. So this is all very.
Then we drink.
Well, yeah, that too. All very doable, and if you've got enough time to do the classic beef Wellington, you can do it with venison. And it's just a matter of making your mushrooms and letting it cool completely. It has to be cold when it touches that puff pastry, or it's just all going to fall apart. And that's part of the lengthy process. And then wrapping everything and then baking it in the oven is another lengthy process. So we did it this way.
And it's delicious.
So good.
Yeah. I'm ready to eat.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll see you folks in a week.
In a week, the day after Christmas. No, 2 days after Christmas.
Yeah.
With not Christmas food.
No.
And thanks for joining us tonight on what I'm sure is a relatively busy week for everybody.
Yeah.
The kitchen's very hot.
It is.
I have slaved over a hot stove for you.
Good. About time.
And happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Enjoy your time with friends and family and whoever.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, hug and kiss the people close to you.
Yeah, why not? Because
Definitely.
They deserve it too.
I love you. All right, folks. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye.